Do you have intricate dies? Do you have microfine glitter? Do you have adhesive sheets? Is the lack of Christmas cards starting to get you worried? Well, come along with me because today we're making knockout glitter cards. Okay, I've got a piece of white cardstock that I have put adhesive on both sides. This is just a different brand I had. I needed to fill a square and I've got some pieces. So now I'm going to run this through my die cutter. I'm going to run it through a couple times because I want a good clean cut through the cardstock and 2 layers of adhesive. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my die cutted. This orange double-sided adhesive, the backing is a little too strong to cut through it, even with a shim in place. So luckily I put that on the back because it definitely wouldn't be working if it was on the front. All right, so this sticky is already sticky there. We just have to get the rest of it peeled off. So I'm going to try and zoom in so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And hopefully I don't have to move it too much. Okay, so this is where the orange adhesive was. Now I'm going to try and pick up the white adhesive backing. So I'm trying to get the backing to come off of all of it. There's going to be a little piece right here. Because this is the part that I'm sticking down to my card. Or I shouldn't say card, to my pattern paper that I'm going to put on top of my card. So as I grab this, I'm hoping I can get the whole thing to peel off, but it didn't want to cooperate. See where it picked up here. There we go. Okay, so as I'm going around, I'm going to try and pick up the cutout pieces as well, because if I can help it, I can lay it down all at one time, not have to worry about picking pieces out. There we go. I got it. So this one is trying to stay down. There we go. So luckily these little guys, their backings came up nicely, so because those are the worst ones to try and get to stay in place while you peel the backing off. So I'm going to get some pattern paper to set this on. I have die cut a piece of white cardstock that has the adhesive applied to both sides. And I have used this one is by Wild Spider. So it's just regular old adhesive. I put it on the back and the front of some white cardstock. Once I finished the die cut, I popped out the pieces that I don't want to keep, and then I slowly peeled the adhesive off the back. And I have these two spare pieces which popped out of the hole whether I liked it or not. Now I'm going to put this down onto the cardstock that I'm going to use on my card front. So I'm just going to put this down where I want it. Okay. Now the whole purpose of trying to get the adhesive off the back was so I didn't have to fit too many puzzle pieces in. So now I'm going to try and release it from the die without disturbing the inner pieces. I'm going to try and get most of the pieces to stay where they belong. Now there may be some that pop out, and that's fine. And a couple. Most everything else stayed where it was supposed to stay. So let me just get them back into their positions. These guys popped out as I was peeling. The backing actually did come off, so I can just set it back in the hole where it belongs. This one's adhesive didn't completely come off. So there's the adhesive. All right. So other than 4 or 5 pieces, they pretty much stayed where they were supposed to stay. Now I'm just going to smoosh them down with my brayer here. And then we'll get to the fun part. Okay, I am going to make a center for this card. So I'm going to start with that first. So I'm going to be using fossilized amber, chipped sapphire, broken china, and tumbled glass. Now I put a little bit of mask down here across the snow. Here's another one just to show you. So there's some snow down there. I have punched a circle, 1.0625 circle. This is a very old, I don't know, I think, oh, EK Success Punch. So that's the size I want for my moon in the back. So I've got that. So we'll get that done first, and then we will move on to getting the card done. So I like to put a little bit of, I don't like a bright white moon, so I put a little bit of fossilized amber just where I'm going to have my moon. So I want to have the moon kind of here behind the trees. So I just want a little bit on there. So I don't want to have a lot of ink on here. I just want just a hint. So I'm just going to put a hint in there. There we go. That's perfect. Then I'm going to peel the mask. So this one these masks I made with my Xyron machine, and which is just what they call the sticker maker. I've just got removable adhesive, cartridge and I just used printer paper. So I make my own rather than buying masking paper. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here over top of the yellow I made for my moon. I've got my snow done there. All right, so let's get started with tumbled glass. And I like to just start off the guy and just drag in the blue. I'm trying to hold this down so it doesn't move too much because I got, the only thing holding it is the adhesive on the back of my mask here. And I have rheumatoid arthritis, so I don't have super strong fingers. I think it's enough tumbled glass. Okay, I'm coming in now with some broken china. And I won't let the broken china come past the bottom of the moon. And I want it darker over here, away from the moon. Okay, chipped sapphire. And I just like that to be just on the very edge there. And I'll bring it in a little bit more over here, away from the moon. I think that should do it, hopefully. I guess we're about to find out. So I just want to clean my hands because I am famous for getting ink on my freshly unmasked white surfaces. Okay, I'm going to pull up the moon first. Perfect. I think what I want to do is keep the trees green. The rest of it will be blue, and the cool lights will be the highlights around. I want to separate the trees away from everything else because they're going to be grasshopper green. So I'm just going to put a slice everywhere that the trees are joined with everything else. So I'm just going to take a ruler and cut off where that cap is going to be. So I separated that tree. I got to separate this tree. So separating the top from the outer ring. I've got to separate the tree here. I've got a tree here. So from the outer ring, I've got to separate it from this loop and this loop and this loop. So I've got to find the stars, and they're a little bit tricky. So here's a star, which I've separated that already because of the tree. I need to separate this star from this loop. This star is joined in a couple of places, so there, here, and here. since we're kind of going with cooler colors, I think I'm going to do silver for the stars instead of gold. I think I'm going to make the ribbon, since I had to bring in silver, I think I'm going to make the ribbon silver. So I am going to go ahead and separate it from the loop. Just so that there's silver somewhere else besides the stars. We're going to start pulling the teal off, what we're going to make teal. So that's the outer loop. And you want to make sure that it's not picking up things it shouldn't. Sorry, let me get my light here. So I need to grab this loop here. It's coming away from there. Tree stayed put. And the star stayed put. I'm trying to pick up a star here. So I need to bring that across. And I need to make sure there's a cut there. Okay. Very good. And that star stayed put. Okay, I didn't get enough. There we go. Okay, now if I could unwind this, it's just basically all the loopies. And the outside ring that is going to be teal. I'm going to bring in my blue teal. And I'm just going to put that all around. So I'm going to start with that. All right, so now that we've got the teal on there, we're just going to burnish it in with our fingertips. And you just want to take it slow because you don't want to rub too hard and accidentally pick up anything that you've left behind, like your stars and your trees. So we're just going to give it an initial push down all the way around here. I'm going to take quite a bit on there. I need to take some off so I can get some movement. Okay. Now I'm going to again do a little bit harder burnish now. Encouraging that glitter to sit down into the adhesive. And with this type of microfine glitter, the more you burnish, the brighter it actually gets. Okay, I'm going to sweep my excess off here. All right, there we go. And I didn't really lose anything to the paper, so that one is done. If you're storing your glitter in something other than containers it came in, perhaps, make sure when you're buying something to store it in that it has a rubber rim in the lid. Otherwise, microfine glitter will escape That rubber is the only thing that keeps it in here. All right, so just gonna try and sweep off as much as I can. It's made its way to stick on there, and we don't want it rubbing off into other colors, especially seeing that it's so dark. So I'm going to try and clean it off a little bit more here. So now we will sit down and pull off all the trees. Now, one thing that helps you get your adhesive up is if you just push in the center, it kind of pulls it away from the edge. And there we go. So now we're ready for our grasshopper. I'm just going to give that a sweep off just in case any teal strayed out there. All right, we'll add the green wherever the trees are. All right, sweep off the rest back into the grasshopper. And now let's give it a burnish again. And like I said, the more you burnish, the shinier it gets. All right. Now I can see a little bit of blue swept off there, so I'm just going to throw this in the garbage. I don't want to risk putting any blue into my green grasshopper. So I'm going to pull the stars off first. So again, just kind of push down in the center, should help it pick up. That's all the stars cleared away. Oh, and the bow. Okay, let's get this silver down. I was talking to a friend today, and she is just getting started on her Christmas cards. She had made a plan to make a few each month, and she's done a bit, but she says she's got a lot more to go. So, and that's why I'm working on all of these. There never seems to be enough time to get as many cards as we need to get done. What are your favorite colors for Christmas cards? I don't know that I have favorites. I have more like, I like warm tones, then I like cool tones. Our cool lights are going everywhere else. Oh dear. Now that has not happened to me before. The way that stood up out of there makes me think it didn't get glued down, and it did not. Somehow when I put the knockout pieces together, that guy's release didn't come off. There was a few times where pieces had to get put back into place. I'll just get the release paper off of it now and put it back in there. we go. Okay. All right. Crisis averted. Hopefully I won't find too many more of those. But apparently I spoke too soon. Now we got an issue. So that little piece didn't come up and I didn't notice it. And it's supposed to be blue. While I've got these other pieces pulled, I do not want to be trying to put blue down and hope it doesn't go in the other places. So I'm going to stick that piece right back down. We'll do the cool lights. Then I'll drop the blue in there. Well, one thing that's good is there's been a few mistakes on this one, and you've gotten to see how to fix them. So I guess there's something to be said for that. Then we can drop the cool lights in here. And a sweep off. Then I have to go back and fix that little spot that needs a little bit of blue. Bring back in the blue teal. Now, I just want to be very careful not to put too much blue on this, because I don't want the blue to dinge down the lights, the white. So I'm going to take that off. I'm going to grab the teal and I'm actually going to just pick up a pinch and drop it on there. Get rid of it. And I'm not even going to try and save what's on there. I just want to briskly wipe it away quickly. Perfect. All right, you guys, look at that. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to cut a silver piece of cardstock just so it differentiates from the rest. So I'll pull the adhesive liner off of there and off of here. Get it set in place. What do you think? We need to put our little scene. All right, I just have to put this on a card base and this one's ready to go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll come back and show you all the cards I created, because I've done several different ones. So I'll be back to show you the finished cards. So this is the one that I mainly worked on screen. So with the, let me just zoom in here a little bit. Okay, so with the center, I did some stickles along the snow to give it a little bit of sparkle. Put some snow using a white gel pen on the trees. I also used Tim Holtz dies to make 4 layers of this word greeting. Covered it with Versamark embossing ink and silver embossed it. I did silver embossing on this tag for seasons. Another Tim Holtz die is all of these different evergreen pieces. And so I cut them out. I used puff paint to put snow on the branches, and I created a video for that, so you can see that one as well. And in that evergreen set there is also these berries, which I just put some red stickles on there, and I have a bow die that I cut in silver glitter cardstock and put it on the top. So that is the card we were working on. And let me bring in a few more to show you. This one was made in quite the same way. I used a gem to dot the eye here and created the upper part the same way. This one, I used the overlapping technique, which is another video I created, so you'll be able to find that one, to create the focal point for the ornament. This one, I did another overlapping technique as well. This one, rather than puff painting the branches, I put some crystal glitter. So I put some glue on the branches, covered it with crystal glitter, and they look kind of cool. A little bit different, so icy snow rather than puffy snow. And white embossed a sentiment on my banner. And one last one. So this one I used an overlapping technique. So basically I was masking on this and overlapping. So I cut out a bunch of dies, laid them on my adhesive, adhesive's top circle. Then I added their different glitters, and this is the result. So I hope you enjoyed spending time learning how to do this knockout technique, and I hope I gave you some inspiration for doing your own cards with microfine glitter and any knockout die. Thanks for hanging out with me. Sorry about the length of the video, but you have to be able to see it all in order to do it all. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back and see my channel again. This is what Melita's making today. You can get all of the information about all of the cards at my blog, which is melitasmakin.blogspot.com. And you can always write me with questions either below the video here, or you can write me at melitasmakin@gmail.com. Thanks again, and happy crafting your own Christmas cards.